Hi, everyone. Welcome to White Noise. My name is Robin, and I'm your host tonight. We have a very special performance tonight. I'm super excited. Literally on the edge of my toes right now, waiting for it. It's our feature performer is Carly Flood. She is quite literally amazing. We had a podcast like 2 weeks ago, and it was really quite something. And I suggest you guys check out the Greenkill Sessions YouTube page and listen to our ramblings for like an hour and a half. It was a lot of fun, and I realized that me and Carly are basically soulmates, and we never knew that. But that's what happens when you do podcasts. You suddenly realize things you never thought you would before. So we're just gonna get right into it, and Carly's gonna hop right on the stage, but not before I read her bio, so you all can get a little glimpse into her life. All right. Carly Flood is a 27-year-old writer and multimedia artist born and raised in Kingston, New York. She began writing and creating art as a form of therapy in her early teens and often creates multimedia art, which combines collaging, acrylic painting, watercolor painting, drawing, and poetry. Prioritizing the process of creating over the finished product has enabled her to create emotional, meaningful pieces that encourage connection, reflection, and simultaneously serve as a therapeutic and meditative experience. She started her writing project, Reminders to My Future Self, in 2020. In the past 5 years, it has evolved into a line of journals, postcards, stickers, and clothing for her family store, Rewind Kingston, which is right on Broadway. She works as a director of creative strategies for the indie record label Keep Good Company Records and is in the editing stage of writing her first book. She earned her bachelor's in English and communications from the University of Albany in 2019. Amazing. Wow. Look at all this. Do you hear all those? That's crazy. I mean, I'm definitely not multimedia. I'm definitely like media, period. That's really awesome. And also, Carly's a journalist. We're like journalists together, which is something we figured out. And it's pretty cool to meet fellow poet journalists, because if they're out there, they're hiding, and I want to know where you are. So without further ado, welcome to the stage, Carly Flood.
I think it's good. Let's see. I had planned on printing this out, but I don't have it in print, so I have to read it from my phone. Hello. I've never been to this open mic before, so I'm really honored. I love it here, and I loved the podcast that we did here. It was so fun, and I love everything you guys are doing here. Is this all good? I've also never done an open mic before or read any of my writing or poetry out loud, which is crazy. And the only advice I got was to practice, like read it through out loud, and I didn't. And I have no idea how long it is. Yeah, isn't it? I hope so. But it is I picked out a few pieces from just the pieces, I guess the ones I liked the most from my book, which is mostly completed. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that after you complete a book. And the first one is called Green Thumb. And I just want to confirm it's usually like 15 minutes, right? You said? Like 15 minutes. Okay. I don't know how long this is going to be. I think it's like 10. I think it's got to be 10. Okay. It's called Green. The first one is called Green Thumb. My mind takes me back to that day, and it does not allow me to look away. Sometimes I see you in places you used to be, and if I am lucky, I can see you laughing at me. but it's no replacement for what was. The light you left does not hold a candle to the source. This new version of me may look bright, but she is scarred and tirelessly on guard. You think I am writing for fun, for pleasure. I am writing so I do not surrender. I am writing in order to stay tender because a voice in the back of my head tells me that if I do not write these thoughts down, I will lose them forever. There is no time to waste. I am racing against a twisted clock, and I am doing all that I can to catch up, begging on my knees for it to stop, but every new day is just one more without you. I filled my apartment with plants to remind myself that there is still life, even if I cannot feel it, and they are growing. You know, I always dreamed about having a green thumb, but all they do is suffocate my room because every time I notice the growth, I can only measure it in the days since you last spoke. Which, this is just very interesting because I haven't read these in like 2 years. Like, it's been a very long time. And this is about my sister who passed away in 2020. And it's just like crazy to read. They're basically entries of like grief and just how I used writing as like a coping mechanism, which is just really crazy to read out loud. And I like really haven't read it in a long time. I know this was like a crazy idea to not to not go through at least. But this one is called Real Conversations with Myself and Others. You are resilient, he told me, and I laughed because nothing about this description felt like anything I had a choice in. I told him thanks, but my only other option was to be non-resilient, and he said touche. But he is right. If nothing else, I am resilient, even if I do not want to be. You almost took everything from me, but I still have this body, and this body will bend even after knowing nothing goes according to plan, no matter how much you will it to. And I'm only so full of life because I am living two now, one for me and one for you. Spring broke through and the sun shines like it's new, but the world turned dark, and it feels like I knew it all from the start, but all I could do was watch. And I do not want to be resilient anymore. It is all too much. I wish I could break and stay that way forever because you were my crutch, but now the bone is shattered and the cure disappeared. I think staying broken might be easier than moving on as if you were never here. Thanks. I was a conversation at Old Savannah, now the Cornell Bar and Grill, with this awful guy from my high school. This is called Stamford, Connecticut, which is where I lived when I wrote it. Okay. And this is when I lived alone for the first time, which was fun. And I do like living alone. I keep feeling like somebody is going to walk into my apartment, but I live alone. My bookcase is full of spider plants, and an old desk from my neighbor's mother sit alone in a 500 square space with dark red windows. The screens are always in danger of breaking. All it'd take is one push through. It breaks as easily as the trust did between me and you. I keep feeling like someone is going to walk in my apartment, but I live alone, and I flinch every single time I have to pick up the phone, but I still wish someone would call. It's terrifying to think of how naive I was back then and back when I had it all, because any day now I could be saying that about today, and I won't even know when it'll be the last call. I dream about someone walking in and never leaving, but I would never give them the chance, not when they could leave as quick as they came. Are you insane? I refuse to start a fire that I could not contain. I can't handle the flame when I know it'll burn away what is left of me. You stay home all day, wasting yourself away, trying so hard to be new, but the newness never lingers. It only passes through. You stay the same. You never change. No one ever walks in, and you'd like to keep it that way. And the stamping is so fun. I used to do that in my English classes in high school. The book is going to be called You Look Like You're Looking for Something. So this is the title poem that I am probably still editing this one, but I don't know. This is the one I'm planning on doing last, but this is what I have so far. You look like you're looking for something, like you woke up in the woods with no idea how you got there. Like a bird who lost his wings, a king who's lost his keys. As if you discovered the secret of life, but you cannot recall what it was. The winds whisper the answer. The children across the street burst with laughter like they know you can't remember. That we are all looking for something, but we are never going to find. A forbidden place that we will never be able to arrive. We are being misled on levels we cannot even begin to understand. To me, the point of it all feels like to live. All you have are the moments. Are you ready to begin? And I actually dreamed that title, which was fun because I love dreams. And I just want to keep working with that title. I'm not exactly sure. I just feel like it's something that would like catch my eye. Like I feel like everybody is kind of looking for something. So that's where that title came from. And I feel like that really captures the whole essence of the book that these are all from. And they're all intended to be like reminders to my future self, which is the project that I started doing in 2020, writing all of these down. Okay. I have like 4 more. Yeah. Okay. This is called Lost and Found. The heart can forget, but the body remembers. It does not have to be told what has come and left embers. It knows the pain of the scars on your skin, split open and burning red, the remnants of a life never lived. The voice in your head whispers, this is on you to get better. But you will come around. You are always okay with getting lost as long as you are found. Okay, and this is called The Garden. This is about my garden in my backyard. There is a garden that you loved once. Of course, you never stopped loving it, but you would never feel anything close to the way you felt it about it then. The first time you saw what felt like heaven. Bleeding hearts bloomed by the dozen, and you decided right there, then and there, that land was your coven. You felt steady there, where the sun soaked into your skin and the birds created their own hymn. You didn't know what the feeling was then, but you do now. It was balance, maybe the closest you had ever been to a world completely void of sin. You hold it all in, but you can never let it all out. Is it fear? Is it doubt? There is a garden that you loved once, and the first time you saw it felt like heaven. That part was repeated twice. The church bells ring, it's time to go. You leave it behind and you leave it alone. They say trauma lasts generations, and if you listen closely, you can hear it in the sound of the metal making melodies, aching, croaking, and haunted throughout. In my garden, a grave sits in the ground. You don't know if anyone was actually buried there, and you never wanted to find out. Who doesn't love a mystery, a story you cannot help but doubt? And then this is just like the last poem. At night you come back like the garden nobody thought would ever bloom again. A burst of light so intense it seems impossible, illogical, that in life there will always be an end. There is nothing, and then suddenly there is everything. Thank you. Okay. This is called Bravery/Sanity. I let my words fill the pages and make their mark on the world. There is solace in the fact that they will never be unwritten or unthought. I turn poetry into prose so you will read it, so I can sell it at the bookstores and coffee shops and make a living using my mind. I turn thoughts into beliefs by letting them exist, and in everything I do, I try to be kind. But these thoughts that sneak up and slither on me like snakes are not always kind. I find peace in writing them down, getting them out, and letting you see, not for your pleasure or enjoyment, but because now there is nothing that you can use against me. And as I bare my soul for the world to see, you see bravery, but I call it sanity. And then this is called Reminders to My Future Self. Okay. I think you should make time to do something you enjoy every day. Write, observe, listen. No is a full sentence, but say yes when you can. Make sure to put yourself first again and again until you cannot remember there was another way to live. Because one day you will be searching for your brain for evidence when you didn't. And when you find it, you'll be in awe at your persistence. Feelings are fleeting, but actions are not. Some mistakes can be fixed, but permanence exists. Kindness is free. Use it, and don't let the little moments slip. Yay. And that's it. Thank you.
Can we have another round of applause for Carly, please? I am like beyond honored that this was your first reading and that you could literally feature for your first reading. Like, girl, that's special. Like, I don't know if anyone maybe has ever done that except for like maybe like a Nepo baby or something. So yeah, kudos to you for doing that. Like, I remember the first time, actually, no, I don't. I vaguely remember the first time I performed, and it was here. It was literally on this stage, probably exactly where I'm standing right now. And I was so nervous. I was like, literally, I couldn't even like move my body because I felt like if I moved, I would like collapse. But, you know, it's been a while. And considering all things, it's gone well. So thank you, Carly, for sharing. Those were all so wonderful, and I'm so glad to have heard your stuff live for the first time. Well then, let us get on with this show, shall we? I'm just having fun tonight. I don't know. So we're going to just jump right into the open mic list because, well, that's literally the other thing that we do here. So first up on the list is Irina. Welcome to the stage.
I think I was actually second, but no one signed up first. So, but you're so brave. I felt like you opened it up, and the fact that it was your first time is really, really courageous. So, way to be. Hi, y'all. I'm Irina. I also go by Namira. This is my first time at this open mic, so thank you. I saw you at the Caves, and I was like, where are all the poets at? And you're like, right here. So it's awesome to be with you all. I have a poem that I wrote today, and I sat down thinking I was going to write about something completely different, and then this is what came out. But I think I'll start with something I know, and then I'll get there. So this first poem is called Magic Child. I'm going to try to do it by heart. I'm doing it at O Positive Fest on October 12th, if anyone is free and wants more poetry. So I'm going to try to do it by heart. It's called Magic Child. Do you remember your magic? Child of nature, child of moonbeams, child of gods, goddesses, both old and new. Did you misplace your open-mouthed delight? Joyous squeals at the bright blaze of dragonfly wings, astounded awe at spider spinning her silk, unabashed glee at puddles made for bare feet. When, where did you tuck your wonder away? Who taught you that it's best to walk, then leap, to sit, then skip, to run for miles, not marvels? That may have been their way. You get to carve a different path, stepping off concrete into warm, rain-soaked soil. Your souls remember what your soul knows so well. Each step more sure, moving forward as you retrieve what was yours long ago. What is yours still? Look there under that weathered rock. Beneath the mushroom, an enchanted world awaits. Beetles and caterpillars stir awake your smile, tickled by friendly ferns, by sweet grass blades. A bumblebee. There's something about a yellow flower. Oh, a bumblebee. A yellow wildflower. Oh man, I don't remember it. Hold on, sorry. A yellow wildflower offers dew to quench your thirst. You drink, watching a bumblebee sip nectar from the next. Both thirsty, both enraptured, sweet and wild. You are a child of magic. It is yours. It's here. It never left you, magic child. Thank you all. Thank you all. I'll read you the second. I don't know. These two are connected, but they're also separate. This one is called Spiders and Sorrows. Where does the sorrow go, wonders magic boy, laying wide awake beneath the first lit sky? I think it's up and out. First up, then out comes tender magic girl's reply. Look, she says, there, spider spins her silk. She's here, she too hears when you cry, weaving your grief into silver rope towards canopies that touch the endless sky. What if sky feels it, hears it, weeps? Who said that tears are reserved only for eyes? Who said that clouds can only carry storms? What can we know of what they hold inside? If grief lives in our tissues, in our bones, then why not also in the cells of clouds and earth? What if your heart's sorrow is theirs too? What if our pain, fully felt, moves this world? What if our storms water seedlings as they sprout? What if without them rivers wouldn't flow? Not fully understanding how or why, know this, you need not carry this alone. Are we not nature, mineral, and bone? Are we really so different from the wolf? What if what's yours is also mine? What if your howl is meant to free mine too? Here we are beneath endless expanse. As the sun rises again, we too must try. First up, then out. Let it flow, up, then out. I'm here, so is spider, so is sky. Thank you all. Okay, I have two more, is that okay? Okay, I'm gonna read you this next one because it gave me the title of the poetry collection that I am also close to finishing, and also trying to figure out what do you do once you actually finish it. So if someone has some advice, let me know. Anyway, so it's called Light Blinding. I have been blind once. It was a long time ago, and if you ask me now to recall the details, I could only tell you of the smudges across the bathroom mirror, the cracks spreading ever so slowly along the sky blue walls. I would tell you about looking without seeing, hearing the give of each overburdened load-bearing joint, knowing, the same way birds and cats alike know, when the pressure builds, the storm is imminent. This structure will not hold. I remember the day I fell apart and none of the days thereafter. Memory only haze and sensation, feeling for the pieces in the dark, the ones I must have dropped along the way, surely lying just there, just outside of reach. I remember crawling on my hands and knees, skimming fingers along jagged edges. I remember how they cut, pulling back not soon enough, hands coming away wet, blood sticky, empty. I learned about emptiness then and there in the dark, crawling, muscle memory taking me time and time again down hallways that had long caved towards exits that no longer existed, teaching me slowly to stay still and listen, sit with not seeing, keep my hands to myself, and leave the debris well enough alone. A thing is permanent until it isn't. A home, a country, a heart. We look away, avoid the places where the seams start to wear. It is only afterwards that we say, yes, I should have seen this coming, let go sooner. These pieces, they hadn't fit for ages. It is only when all else falls away that we are left with that hair of a whisper, wise and consistent, insisting there must be another way. There is, and it is nothing you haven't heard before, a story old as time, known thoroughly by mystics, by playwrights, and by physicists who play pretend, mapping rules of logic onto magic realms. They know the void is where life abounds. It is in its depths that we are made anew. It is where we crack, we shatter, we become, go blind, and then become light. Blinding. Thank you all. That's only the second time I've ever shared it with anyone, so thanks. It's my life story, no big deal. Okay, I'm gonna read you this last one. This is the one I wrote today, and it's kind of like, yeah, I really didn't know what was coming out as I was writing. And I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. Okay, it's called Learn to Listen. They say that the best poetry emerges from the cracks. They say so does both light and decaying. They say that I have been too wild, too loud. They say that speaking done with grace is same as praying. They say to keep close both your enemies and friends. They say that your heartbeat will bring you home. They say that death is not a thing to fear. They say few of us, all of us, die alone. They say that luck has limits and that countries have borders. They say this looking cold and bored. My heart says, I'm not here to follow orders. My heart says, question every single thing you're told. Question the they, the say, the that, and what comes after. Listen, do not believe, do not repeat. Move slow, or not at all for that matter. In stillness, what is for you is revealed. Consider wisdom external to be wisdom, the way that trees admire other trees. Ah, that one has shed their leaves. Mine may fall after. We do not after all dance the same breeze. Consider words and warnings, mere stories somebody else's mind might tell. Go where it is quiet when you seek an answer. Where it is too loud, offer your stories to the wind. Nothing is ever lost, not truly, and almost everything is never true. Trust what is yours, speak rarely, move slowly. You aren't the words you speak, and they're not you. What others say and do has little matter when you begin to know the notes of your own song. What once was wise will be dismissed as foolish after. What feels important will, in due time, fall. You aren't a parrot, nor are you a record, so why repeat what someone else has birthed? Listen within, be it for truth or laughter. Allow it to emerge, a wonder to behold. What lives in me and moves through me is tender. What lives in you and moves through you is gold. Sit still with those whose silence offers shelter. Learn to sense truth eternal from rivers and caves, mouths, young and old. You're here and your story is your story. Make love under the moon, salute the rising sun. When they say this and that, listen. it is for you. When they say this and that, sit and listen. If it is for you, you will know it's true. Then walk and whistle, my friend. Learn to listen to the wise whisper that is yours, that is you. All right. Thank you all so much. This was awesome. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Irina. That was beautiful. I'm really glad you came. Usually when people say they're going to come, they don't. So, yeah, that's much appreciated. What else was I going to say? Oh, I'm also performing at O Positive, by the way, just throwing that out there. No idea what I'm reading, even remotely. But I'm okay with that. For now. What else I had one more thing I wanted to say. Of course I'm going to forget it. Well, I guess it wasn't that important. But I felt like it was. Whatever, I guess not. I guess it's just the cameras. Whatever. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. But for now, next up we have Bruce Weber. Welcome to the stage.
Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Robin. No, I just want to put the books down. So my wife Joanne and I have a series that's on the first Tuesday of the month, which is next Tuesday at 7 in Saugerties. It's the 9W Diner. And we have some people from here who are regulars here. Our series is called Dialogues for the Ear and Eye. And it's the 9W Diner in Simmons Plaza at 7 o'clock. And it's Cole Solis Jativa, who you probably heard here. She's reading. The visual artist is Tara Bach. And the musician is Angela Beauvais, who's going to be performing a little later today. So that's next Tuesday. And Robin's going to be reading at the beginning, too. So we decided to come at the last minute. I wanted to read new work, but I had to grab stuff fast. Findings. In the grip of the spider, in the toehold of God, in the sightlines of serendipity, in the pursuit of sincerity, in the hasty chase after the blues, in the lucky range of your eyes, in the red hush of Mars, in the beeping opinion of the creaky car, in the suddenly yelping throat of the dog, in the puzzling amorphousness of a puddle, in the great black umbrella that spits rain, in the assumption that breathes in deeply, in the conversation amidst stragglers and worms, I offer you a sniff and a cough, a bite and a kiss, a tremendous assumption that leaps canyons. In all this, I will find you. Yes, I will find you. I will find you. She should be with the other dolls. She should be with the other dolls, but they pull her hair, they rip her dress, they play havoc with her sleep, her dreams, her yearnings, tugging at her long eyelashes, poking her with spiders, scissoring up her undergarments. She should be with the other dolls, but they gossip about her reputation, her sexual persuasion, her passion, like a trail of fires running across her skin, branding every soul she touches. She should be with the other dolls, but they say she's got a pact with Satan. They say she's manipulated the little girl to love her best, to cling to her at the ring of nightfall, to hold her through every shadowy dream. So they shush her away. They push her off the shelf, fling her onto the floor, so she tumbles, smashing her plastic bottom. Between the wars. You remind me of the years between the wars when love surrendered easily and time fluttered its wings like a bat out of hell. It was then that you came to me, carrying on about the weight of his refusals, about the glimmer in his eye, about the terrain of his tempestuousness, leaning on the table with a heavy fist and eggs broken like eggs on the hot plate of the sidewalk, staring into some blank abyss where the clock's hands turn unmercifully in endless circles, and women curtsy and men pin carnations on their lapel, and the sun sets in the morning, and nighttime is alive with colored shadows that recline in the tubes of the painters, and Geneva purrs on with business, and a glass raised to neutrality, and the skeleton bones of the helpless dead slip under the white sheets of the morgue, and the windows open, and the bodies jump, and the streets are scarred with the war dead, and you stretch your hand out, shaking off kindness like a leaf, slinging apologies like soft bullets, reminding us of time's follies and the wicked playthings with their jagged elbows, love breaking mirrors, love climbing to the roof, love storming the barricades, love sleeping in the park, love joining the folds of life together like busy ants running into the pyre of the day. I'll read two more. It's called Some Dancer Must Have Died. Some dancer must have died because her stuff's all over Broadway. Black slippers, leotards, short pleated skirts, dance books and magazines. I wonder if she was a student of Balanchine or Taylor or Cunningham. I wonder if she could cut the floor and make space disappear, turning, rising, falling. I wonder if she moved here from the Midwest alone and met a mental patient's knife, or if death cornered her at the balance bar and said, "You've had enough, no more practice, your body's too thin and hard, come rest now." I watched strangers pick through her belongings, checking for holes, for rips, for odors. I pick up some of the magazines and discover handwritten notes in the margins, filled with exclamation points and stars, and wonder if she killed herself, entering her declining dancing years, going to the roof and moving through the air, like when she was 16 and the whole world was in her legs. And I'll finish with this. There's a dark black band over this poem. There's a dark black band over this poem. Maybe it's being worn by the mourners of all the poets who died this week. like the Chilean who lived in exile because he couldn't stomach any form of civilian mutilation, or the poet with a southern accent who understood that the secret ingredient in the best plate of chitlins was love. No matter how many times you or I scratch our head, the dark black band ain't going nowhere. It's like the statue of a Civil War soldier in the town square, always standing upright, always young and limber for patriotic principles, always prepared for any battle threatening the Republic. Like a simile that pours through our fingers, like the water from a stream after a long hike through Gettysburg in search of the shadows left behind by a great-great-grandfather who died with a copy of Leaves of Grass tucked in his back pocket. Though I ain't no praying man, I'm getting on my knees now and saying a little something for all the poets who passed away this week into the here ever after. Thanks.
Thanks, Bruce. I just wanted to say that for the record, I am the doll he was talking about. And I remembered what I was going to say as soon as I sat down, of course. What I was going to say is that for those of you out there struggling to finish your books, just let it go. That's the best advice anyone's ever going to give you. Just let it go. And accept it. It's tough, but it's what you got to do. Next up is Dagan the Pagan. Welcome to the stage. Well. This is perfect timing for this thing I was going to do right now, actually. It's called reading comments on the articles posted in my newspaper. By heart. No, I'm kidding. Imagine. I actually did write one down, though. Maybe I'll just go. How much more time do you need?
I'm loose. Go for it.
Okay. See, this is actually a perfect prelude because it's gonna really get you guys riled up for this performance. I won't be naming their name, also because I do know their name, but I won't be naming them. If you knew this person, I would genuinely shriek. So this is on a long thread where these two older men were just really going at each other's throats over absolutely nothing. And I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. This is word for word what this guy wrote, except every time I say two, he wrote TOO because. Okay, so this is. I feel like I need to provide so much context. This is we're really in the heat of it right now. He is like seething in this. Okay, I'm just gonna read it. I'm not even gonna say anything else. I'm going to impersonate him also as I read this. I was being nice, but actually, no, I do have someone to blame. Ignorant cocksuckers like you. I'm almost positive you are a city fuck. You guys changed everything up. You guys came up here during COVID with your wannabe country bumpkin ass, yet brought all your liberal BS with you. You want to talk about reality, dumb fuck? Take a look around you. It's not fair, and I can tell you many, many, many locals agree and are tired of y'all's BS. So STFU with your corny BS, talk to justify why I should deal with it. ... I shouldn't, and I fucking won't deal with it. I fucking won't deal with it. I've sat face to face and argued with mainly, again, city fucks like you because y'all too ignorant to get it through your head. You and your posse aren't welcome upstate. No one, I mean no one, wants y'all here. And again, in all caps until the end of this sentence. I should not have to drive 2 fucking hours away to make the same amount as y'all just to buy a fucking house in my area. ... Buy up shit in the city, not here. Period. Yeah, that's really it. And then in the next post, he called him a tart, an ignorant tart. And I thought that was just brilliant. I said, if I could pose as an anonymous person at any time of my life, it would just be to intermediate these 2 old men right now. And that's it. Welcome, Dagan.
Oh, gee, I'm so happy to be here. So much and yet so little, you know. You got to watch those limits because, you know. But that's okay. We live in times like that, so you have to be on your toes, right? Like this. Just joking. Anyway, round the block, out to the cosmos, you know, do the dishes. It's one thing after the other. And then we try to figure it out. At the end of the day, what? It's good? Bad? Mediocre? Are we bored? Are we angry? Are we joyful? I don't know. These are the things I think about. And I get up here and I have no idea what's going to come out. So it's just surprise! Oh my God. Okay. I would like to do my impression of a proud mechanic. And now, I would like to do my impression of a musical dentist. Oh, mama, yes, how are we doing? Thank you. And now I'd like to do my impression of a dancer turned peanut farmer. La 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 la. So, why weird? There's a whole legacy there. Do you realize how much weird is demonized? And then you're naked to the world. No recourse. Just bubbles up. It's kind of stultifying. That's just how it goes. Weird can be cool, too. That's another story. The way I see it is there's just not so much rudimentation. If you put the pieces together as a form of a structure, then eventually it's going to have to like pay off as a sort of a vision of something that's possible. But we almost never get to that point. Want to know something I hate? I hate bad vibes. I hate people making a big deal. I hate people blaming people. It's disgusting. Do you have any idea what they do to the world? It's unbelievable. It's one thing after another. Get no peace around here. It's just blah, blah, blah. Tell me about it. I hate people who make trouble. People who blame people. There's no way out of it. They think they're doing something great. They come around to give you all the big excuses. Then they say they're going to be happy to do it again. I can't stand it. They're ruining this world. Sooner or later, they're all going to jump off and make something disgusting happen, and then they're going to be trouble. And who's going to pick up the pieces after that? Not me. I have nothing to do with that. Those ridiculous, stupid people. When are they going to learn? Why don't they get a life? You idiots, get a life. I don't care if you vote. I don't care what you do. Just quit making it bad. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So things can be simple if you want them to be. I mean, you just gotta like drop the details. Don't pay the bills. And run around like you're a spring chicken. I don't know. It seems there's so many ways of looking at these things. It gets you dizzy. Just the other day, I was trying to make up a scenario that I could like share with the animals. Have some sort of like cross communication thing, see if I can put myself into a position of honor so that there's no more, no more debauchery at the core of our existence. I was actually searching for like a new reality. And I don't know what happened. Eventually, I've just found myself high and dry. And you know what? I didn't care. That's what it's come down to now. Oh, God. So at the end of the day, you add it all up. Still trying to make sense of it all. You're trying to figure out what you owe, how free you are, how much you've achieved your goals, how much money you have. And it's like a dog chasing its tail. And yet, there we are, giving the dog treats. The high coast, the infinite void, and everything in between. I guess basically I'm grateful, even if I can't figure it all out. So, hey, I'm digging the pagan. I'm all done. That's my act. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Wow, as my grandma would say. She likes saying wowie. That's like her thing. Wowie. Well, thanks, Dagan. That really brought me somewhere. I would say that the old man was my favorite. Yeah.
All right.
He made sense to me.
That works for me too.
Yeah, I am still recovering a little. But you know, it's that's the great thing about Dagan. You never know what you're gonna get. And he literally does keep you on your toes. There's no doubt about that. So, we're going to welcome the next performer to the stage. And the next performer is Pam and her poetry. Welcome to the stage.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. Hi, y'all. I appreciate your patience. This one is only on my phone. It's called The Magic Dances. I want to read the way I want to read, with the emphasis wherever it turns me on to put it. I don't want to read in a delicate, lilting, fragile, waterfall, monotone, just like I don't want to be silent when I come. The thunder cracks, the leaves fall down, and the rhythm is random. All the girls loved Arnold, and I just think his arms are too thick. And the sweetest pearls of praise you will hear from my lips are skinny thing. The magic dances in whatever channels it chooses and takes aesthetic by its ever-changing hand, leads it, resisting and cascading over rollicking fecund land. To tickle, tousle, and titillate your tummy, boggle your eye. Beset wanton lovelight afire, our lusty side with heat, and sweet desire afry. Not to stand aside, not to cloak with heavy velvet shame, can't breathe, can't seethe, can't wrap around and swelter. Can't flail or furrow or cry out, bear the raw rasp of liberation, see the scintillating, sharp, blinding light of truth, feel the heavy, full, wet pressure of sensuality way down low, where we want only the carrier of our magic in the eyes to know. That self-same which we see in those eyes breathes trees, undulates water, sways fire, crackles writhing desire. The way my lover surrenders, arched back, open-mouthed, glistened collarbone, sparks the magic contagious to move in me too. Shake, the vines come tumbling down. Shiver, swelter, shiver hard and wrap around. Tawny and golden, thick, wet, and loam dark. The vivified aesthetic will caress you. Tender ether like a silken scarf. And which form for you will glow? Who are we to know wherein the magic dances? Lately, I've been struggling with that demarcation line between hurt and anger. It keeps fluctuating. And sorry about that. I read in a Pema Chodron book that anger is only supposed to last 60 seconds or 90 seconds, something like that. It's protective. It's not supposed to go on for very long. Anyway. This is called Leo, Leo. The other night, you laughed out loud at my fear of the possibility of losing you. Leo, Leo, moon in Virgo, picky and stubborn as OCD itself. Is this okay, I ask, or something similar? Absent-minded from exhaustion, in part due to poor sleep, in part from your affection, conspicuous by its absence. The scolding I get feels thunderous. Finally home, alone, I am indignant. I had felt so drained, and I told you so, that it left me obsequious. You'd come down on me hard, and I'd let you, in hopes of pleasing you. Oops, tired, I forgot. You were tired too. These reorientations of me, these scoldings, had come consistently since the time we first walked alone together. The other night they were relentless. I wrote you all about it using I statements, naming my antipathies, my dashed hopes. In shadow of the thoughts of how likely they were to continue, I thought, I miss the guy who said he could fall in love with me. The guy who took his place, I don't like him. More rested the next day, I thought, I can do better. Okay, this next one. Thank you. Somewhere out there. Sassy in my newfound haircut, born initially of desperation, my anti-boyfriend having rescued it with small scissors, I lit out in new earthing shoes to sip the early autumn air. My belly is flatter than ever, and I am well pleased. Somewhere out there, on the other side of a mutual aid project, waits a man, 50-ish, and snugly, flexible and accepting, happy to meet me. This has no title yet. Many, many poets can write the invitation again and again. Overachievers can push themselves mercilessly, get fibromyalgia, and still never learn that 3 workshops cost not time, not money, but energy. Kirlian photographs can record the results of meditation, but what can quantify the magnitude of attention? Yeah, we need Heisenberg. Where would we be without him? Who we really need is Isaiah. How to create an effect, some say pray, by noting the present, drinking in the imaginal, and getting high on the potential pregnancy of its imminent reality. We all have a spark within us. We can all be radiant. Drink, sparkly ones, drink deeply to intoxication, and blind me with your newfound splendor.
Thanks, Pam. That was really powerful. You have a great speaking voice. Kind of reminds me of Kathleen Turner a bit. Who's like, yeah. She's like the best ever, kind of. Next up is Matt Holleran. Welcome to the stage.
Can I use that stool? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, that's good. Hello. I'm Matt. I don't know what to say. I used to play out a lot. I haven't really in like almost a year. I went and had a kid a year and a half ago, and so I've been pretty preoccupied. But I like it a lot better now. But I get like a couple hours a week, and I'll like kind of walk through the woods. There was this trail that I found near my apartment that like went by the Hudson River, and there was like a rope swing and all this cool stuff. I think some homeless people were living out there. But I went walking in there one time with my guitar, and this guy was at the front of it, and he was like, that's private property, and they're arresting people. So I was like, I can't go back there. I was pretty disappointed, so I went to my old practice spot, which was the back seat of my car, and I wrote this song. It just like kind of came out. So I kind of like this song, and that's the introduction. I know a man way over his head. It's been 20 years since he last left his bed. And people are saying he's better off dead. I think he's better off living instead. I know a man who lives all alone. It's been 20 years since he last left his home. He jumped in the river and he sank like a stone. He said, ain't it funny how things seem to go? The newspaper said he was stained to the bone. Well, I ain't saying that this comes as any surprise. The world's got a way of breaking people getting by. So don't let it get to your head, 'cause everything's been done and said. Over and over we live to get older and die. I know a man who talks with the trees. The trees ask him questions, he says, pretty please, won't you bring my friend back to me? Since he's been gone, I can't seem to sleep. I close up my eyes, but he's all I can see. I wrote him a song, but it feels incomplete. I guess I'm just in need of some good company. Well, I ain't saying that this comes as any surprise. The world's got a way of breaking, but people get by. So don't let it get to your head, 'cause everything's been done and said. Over and over we live to get older and die. Thank you. Every time I put this capo up here, the whole thing kind of goes out of tune. So I'm gonna just, as fast as I can, tune all 12 of these strings. I wrote this song like a couple of days ago, so I might flub the words a little bit. Some of the words I'm not even really sure about. But it's kind of about like ghosting. You know, when like you know somebody and then all of a sudden they just don't respond to any of your messages. I've had people do that to me, and I actually did it to one person once. I feel bad about it. I think it's kind of a messed up thing to do. Just leave somebody without saying goodbye. All right. Another day has passed me by. I'm wondering why you and I don't talk the way we used to do. I'm sure I said something to make you sigh. Maybe you're tied up, it's alright. Maybe you found somebody new. But I'll light another cigarette and watch the smoke ascend. Everything eventually comes to an end, but I'll miss you, I'll miss you, I'll miss you, friend. I'll miss you, I'll miss you, I'll miss you, friend. Heard you had your kid a week ago. I didn't know, but way to go. Fatherhood looks good on you. I've never really been good at goodbye, so I don't mind, maybe down the line. But if not, then that'll do. I'll just keep on writing cigarettes and watch the smoke ascend. Everything eventually comes to an end, but I'll miss you, I'll miss you, I'll miss you, friend. I'll miss you, I'll miss you, I'll miss you, friend. Memories and sceneries are still frames in my mind. I try to hold the feelings 'cause they always seem unkind. Ain't it a shame? Kind of things seem to happen all the time. I wonder why certain people get left behind. Thank you. So, should I go or is that it? All right. You don't have to yell at me, good. You can if you want. I wrote this song about, it's kind of like the end of the world. Yeah. I've been thinking this whole time that you would run away screaming if I said what's on my mind, 'cause I've got a bad, bad feeling the words will come out wrong. I'm tired of talking. I wrote you a song. We live in a story, and the way it's unfurled, I think that the world's going through its final pages, boys and girls. The hellfire is coming, the wind will blow us away. People are already sitting around talking about, hey, what the hell happened to yesterday? And it's a long, long time coming. And it don't mean to cause any alarm, but the way things are running, I don't know how we'll take this thing back after it's gone this far. The cities will crumble and the folks run away, escape to the country and build a city just like the one that they hate. Do it over and over till there's nothing left to burn. Sure as the sun rises in the morning and the concrete mixer churns. It's a long, long time coming. And I don't mean to cause no alarm, but the way things are running, I think we've gone too far. Thank you. All right, I'll give it up now. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt. That was awesome. Yeah. And if it couldn't get better than that, well, maybe it won't. But next up we have Angela, who is quite literally one of my favorite people on this whole planet. Welcome, Angela, to the stage.
Right here is good. Yeah. Thank you. No, that's good. as if it couldn't get better than that. Maybe it won't. I like that a lot. I like that. I'm waiting so impatiently for the day that Robin debuts her stand-up routine. As if I'm already not your biggest fan, like I would be front row for that. You're so funny. I don't know a lot about you, but you seem to know a lot about me, so I take a little time out. I take a little time out. I'm sorry that I lost my patience. You deserve better, it's true. I need a little time out. I need a little time out from me, and you. Open up your inside, show us your innermost, let your rust. I'll rip it out carefully. I promise you won't feel a thing. Everybody wants to have their say, forever waiting for some car crash. I need a little time out. I need a little time out from me, and you. Shave your head to see how it feels. Emotionally, it's not that different, but to the hand, it's beautiful. Yeah, to the hand, it's beautiful. You seem to have the weight of the world upon your bony shoulders. Well, hold on. You need a little time out. You need a little time out from you and me. Thanks. That's a Courtney Barnett song. I just saw her the other night and trying to hold on to the magic of that experience. She's a big one for me. Okay. This is a new one. I've only played it once, and I'm pretty sure that was the same day that I finished it. So it's still very fresh. Trying to figure it out. Untitled at the moment. I think he'd like to be a dragonfly, iridescence in the wind, specks of green shimmering in the air, hovering over beds of mint. I picture him as a dragonfly. They always follow me around. And though it feels like he is very far, since the day he returned to the stars, the shimmering green is everywhere we are. So to me, he will be a dragonfly. I think she'd like to be a butterfly, tigers striping through the field, or gentle yellow resting on the flowers, but royal purple is ideal. I see her in the monarch butterflies, such a natural part of life. And time will come where they'll be journey bound, feeling restless for warmer ground. But I know they will come back around. So to me, she will be a butterfly. I think they'd like to be cardinals, or warm breezes in the sun, or anything that I can find that reminds me of the ties that bind. I have started to believe in signs, so to me they will be always with me in the world. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Angela. Maybe one day I will do a stand-up routine. Who knows? But probably not anytime soon. Next up is Joanne Pagano-Weber. Welcome to the stage.
No, it's okay. Hey, everybody hear me? Okay. Hi. So I'm going to just entertain you guys with the continuing saga of Veronica and Dante, who've gotten into the car hitchhiking somewhere from the Catskills to Dutchess County. They get in the car of these two that look like they could be your aunt and uncle from Queens, but it seems they probably are ne'er-do-wells because they get pulled over by a state trooper. So this is what happens when they get pulled over. It's let's see, Augie and Marge are the older ne'er-do-wells. So the trooper checks the numbers of the registration and asks for Augie's ID and says, "Do you own this vehicle?" "No, officer. It was lent to us by a friend. By the way, these youngsters back here, Dante and Veronica, we were just giving them a lift. I feel bad holding them up." "May I have your IDs, please?" Officer Clark asked us. "If that's so, I advise you in the future not to hitchhike again." "Oh, no, officer, they weren't hitchhiking. We met them when we stopped a while back, and it turned out they were going the same way, so we offered them a ride." Everyone but Augie must have been aware of how ridiculous this sounded. "Remain in your vehicle." He walked back to his police car. Dante looked like he was about to say something but changed his mind. He probably figured, like I did, that it was better to let the more intelligent party sort things out and avoid interaction with the lesser beings who immediately began to ruminate over their situation. "Oh, God, what did Sam get us into this time?" said Marge. "Think positive. No, pray. Otherwise, I'll go to drastic measures." "Oh, Augie, be careful." "Calm down, son of a bitch. What the hell's he doing back there?" Long minutes passed. I found myself holding Dante's hand. Finally, another police vehicle arrived and Officer Clark approached again. "Are you aware that you are driving an unregistered vehicle?" "No," they cried in unison, and I thought with sincerity, "You'll have to follow me to headquarters." "Officer, please, let these kids go. We had no idea our friend let his registration lapse, and these kids have no connection to him." The trooper looked us over and said, "Everyone remain in the vehicle and follow me. Failure to do so will result in your arrest." "Ain't you got nothing better to do, Boy Scout, than pick on someone who ain't your own size?" The policeman gave Augie a brief but dominating stare and turned on his heel. "Augie, what did you do that for?" "Did I tell you to shut up? If honey don't work, you gotta try vinegar." I turned Dante's wrist over. It was after 4. Addie was already annoyed and she would soon be worried. That's where they were heading, to Addie's house, Adeline. We followed the vehicle in silence for a while until Marge couldn't contain her fear. "Oh, God, Augie, what if this car's hot?" "We got a right to remain silent and we get one phone call. Meanwhile, I'm going to hassle the shit out of that fuzzball. If I can get him to hit me, we'll get off, and then some." "Oh, please, not another one of your bright ideas. They'll beat the shit out of you and lock you up and throw away the key." With these words, a sense of terror overtook me. Everything in me revolted against the idea of being confined, handcuffed, a vision which was becoming a nightmarish fantasy, fueled by the likelihood that we were traveling with a couple of lawbreakers. So now, let's see. Okay, I'll keep reading. A drive to headquarters along winding country roads seemed to take forever. As soon as we got out of the car, I asked Officer Clark, "Are you going to arrest us?" My ordinary need for cool subsumed by obvious fear. "Routine questioning, miss. I have to make a report." Immediately, Augie chimed in. "Have you no sense of fairness, you fucking fuzzball, hassling these two poor kids?" As the investigation began, starting with Dante, Augie resumed with as many colorful insults as his vocabulary and imagination allowed. "Excuse me, sir," said Dante, "but I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself and Veronica." "Didn't I tell you to shut up? Show some respect." Augie chuckled sheepishly and turned to the trooper, who continued his course of action regardlessly. "They're young yet. They don't know better. I tell you, they were just going along for the ride. Hey, I'm talking to you, dickface. Leave the kid alone." I got the feeling our placid ex-Marine understood the reasoning behind this MO. He seemed to enjoy his control over the situation, addressing himself to Dante alone and methodically filling out forms with the barest glimmer of mirth flexing his facial muscles. His fellow officer, more blatantly amused, handed him some papers. Looking them over, Officer Clark said, "Well," to Dante, "well, young man, it seems you have a record. Sale of illegal drugs?" "A record?" Augie cried. "Dante, you never told me." Dante rolled his eyes. "It was 5 years ago. Pot," he muttered to me. "Stupid," I said. "That's why, son, crime doesn't pay, especially if this turns out to be a second offense." "Yes, sir," said Dante quietly. "Seriously, officer, with all due respect, isn't it obvious that we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time? Why don't you save yourself a lot of paperwork and we can be on our way?" Augie interrupted again. "That's exactly what I've been trying to tell you all along, fathead." "You'll zip it now and sit over there. Another word out of you and you'll be charged with obstruction of justice." "Cheese dick," Augie spat. "Cuff him," Clark ordered. The other trooper attached Augie, who was cursing all the way, to a chair in the rear. "I'm sorry if this is inconveniencing you, son, but I'm obliged to fill out a report," Clark said with a jot of sarcasm. A moment later, he added, "That's why I'm taking care of you first." "Can we at least make a phone call?" I asked. "As soon as I finish these forms." His tone communicated the imperative that all further questions were to come from him, answers from us. Augie and Marge's bickering was a mesh of white noise behind the most interminable enumeration of details, forming an imprint of this episode in my memory forever. And so she ruminates over how she got herself into this jam, Veronica, that is. I don't have to read all of this. It's kind of what's in her mind. And get to the story. Officer Clark and his deputy convened for a second time. A few minutes later, Clark called me to the desk where he was questioning Dante. "All right, there's no need to hold her here any longer. Maybe she'll be a good influence on you, my friend, but you're going to have to stick around for a while." "What? Could we please make a phone call?" I was pointed in the direction of the payphone, and suddenly Dante lit up with an idea. "Officer, would you mind contacting a Mrs. Adeline Hardwell for us?" "Mrs. Hardwell? Is this some kind of joke?" said Officer Clark. "Do you know her? Could you call her?" He said to me, "Of course I could. That doesn't mean I will. Mrs. Hardwell is one of the most important citizens of this county. She doesn't suffer fools gladly, and neither do I." Augie and Marge at that point were on a new roll. "Davis," Officer Clark called to his deputy, who had disappeared behind an office door. "Get started on those two, and I'll be right with you." He resumed his paperwork and added impatiently, "You run along, young lady, and call your mama." "Officer, please listen," I said politely, on the inside roiling with frustration. "We were on our way to Mrs. Hardwell's for dinner." "You were hitchhiking to Adeline Hardwell's estate for dinner? I can't wait to tell my wife this one." I know it sounds a little peculiar, Officer Clark, but she's telling the truth. I was supposed to drive Veronica over there today, but at the last minute we didn't have use of a vehicle. You mean you were smoking dope and you hit into a tree somewhere? I'd better have the roads in the county checked. Dante broke into his charming laugh. I joined in, but I was not as skilled at swallowing my pride with flair. That might have been a possible, Dante's saying this, that might have been a possible scenario 7 years ago, sir, but those days are over. I have a reputation to uphold. I have an advanced degree in medical research. Yes, and I'm running for president in 1984. Let's stick to the program, son. I still have Fran and Ollie to deal with. Officer, said Dante, laying his hands on the desk, haven't you ever had one of those days when everything is upside down? When my father wouldn't let us have the car. Why wouldn't he? What difference does it make? I'm asking the questions because he was mad at me. Now that I can understand. As Dante threw up his hands, turning his back in utter frustration, behavior which I knew would have repercussions with this military type, I leapt forward and pulled out the stops with my great collection of Lillian Gish moments. Dante was only with me today to protect me, I said, tears welling up in my eyes. This is all my fault. I'm just a guest at the D'Amelio household. I was disappointed not to be able to go to Mrs. Harwell's, so I told them I was taking a walk, but I really intended to hitchhike from Harmon's Corners. Harmon's Corners? And I ran into Dante on the trail, and since he couldn't talk me out of it, and now he's in trouble because of me. Dante doesn't smoke dope. I never even saw him drink a beer. He only sold that grass 7 years ago to pay for a new microscope. Dante looked at me in utter astonishment. You see, his father's just a poor, struggling artist. Okay, that's enough. So you set out for Mrs. Hardwell's estate for dinner, and neither of you have her phone number. I hope at least you have her address. Grandview Drive, just after Highcliffe, said Dante quietly. If you tell her houseman, Charles, that we're here and in trouble, she'll come to the phone. Officer Clark's mirth was finally subdued. He looked at Dante gravely and dialed. Mr. Tripe, this is Lieutenant Clark. I have a Veronica Barone and a Dante D'Amelio here at headquarters. Right. That's what they said. Yes. They're fine. Please ask Mrs. Hardwell if I could speak to her. When Addie got on the phone, Officer Clark's tone changed completely. Mrs. Hardwell, yes, no, they're fine. Maybe just a little anxious to see you. He chuckled. Your guest just got into a car with the wrong people is all. Of course, ma'am, just a routine investigation. Had to be done. Yes, sorry I held him up. In fact, Davis is going off duty in a couple of minutes. I'll have him drop them over your way right now. No trouble. Anytime, ma'am. Oh, she's fine. Yes, I will do that. Thank you. Bye-bye. Davis, let me handle Fran and Ollie, and why don't you give these nice kids a ride over to Mrs. Hardwell's? She's expecting them. Davis did a double take. It was the first time I ever experienced the power of that kind of influence, and I was grateful to be on the receiving end. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, Joanne. That was awesome. I want to just I could literally listen to you for hours. Well, that brings us to me, I guess. I have 2 poems today that I'm going to read. Both of them are new, as always. This one I wrote last night, past my bedtime. It's called Damned Is as Damned Was. A flame sputtering out. A cloud of mold in an empty tequila shooter. Glass a reminder of fingertips that lace through body. Back then, it was just 2 flesh cavities hurling themselves into hopeful respite from metabolic days. Now fingertips trace outlines on surfaces beaded with warm sweat, devoured like a good book. Once there was a definite amount of time before the seal broke, and now all is inconsequentially salacious and riddled with unspokens. Mouth covered in ketchup and mayo, you say you like it dirty. Or maybe you say flirty or 30, as if age has ever been a factor. This petite porcelain body never ceasing to please, so you salt and pepper the eggs, apply a generous coating of something creamy, and prod and provoke with pronged instrument that pollinates those properly poised lips, with jawline precision prying apart in order to fill a void once full of poison, or so one can imagine the inevitable justice of such a rudimentary act. So imagine a creaking booth in a low-lit diner off the highway. Imagine it unbearably sunny with hot coffee and chocolate milk still streaked dark brown where process was undermined by haste. Imagine a blister on your foot somewhere uncomfortable and unreachable, and imagine the feeling of something resting atop your head. Glasses or a snapback or a scarf or a hood. Now imagine you aren't alone. Imagine the world stopped in this moment, frozen in some sick plot twist of fate, and you are paralyzed but sated, for all you could ever need lies right before you. What I'm trying to say is, would there be any other choice but a floating sense of absolute content? Would brain give way to the vascular, searing red gunk of life to ignite the spark of every uninhibited moment that passes beyond this temporal space of flux and held fiercely to a heart rendered cold and pacified? Can all be so unquestionably simple, or are we victims of generational inadequacy? The answer is forthcoming. All who dare stay tuned must pray to whoever you figure is listening that time may not always be as shallow and fleeting as a lover's false touch. Thanks. The next one is one I also wrote the other day that I read to my friend afterwards, and she was like, I think this is one of the best poems you've ever written. And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, get out of here. Don't give me that. But maybe she was right. So, I mean, who knows? I just was like, I don't know. I mean, I guess like how I thought about it was like, when you feel like you've written a really good poem, it hits. Like right after you've written it, you're like, whoa, what was that? But I didn't get that feeling with this, so I was just like a little taken aback. But that's not to say she was wrong, because I will never say a compliment is wrong. Okay, it's called Rain Soaked. These timeless shadows, breaking wind of each cause I erupt into, a blanketed unfolding of mass deliverance, and I, unholy spectator, use my body as a means and my mind as that peculiar part of me that placates between rhyme and reason. So in my dreams I plant mums in the flower pots and hold your hand. There is nothing quite like the sound of these rainy, soaking mornings, weighed down like pastaed bellies or feet lined with brick. I have an itch, a word like calling, yet I know when I project I will receive nothing in return. This is my cross to bear, that I daydream constantly, unrelentingly, until they, without question, do or do not come true. There is always an answer, always. It is sometimes just hiding beneath rain-soaked shrubs in a rocky flower bed, or in the perplexing folds of cotton sheets that hold the scent of all man's wildness. So what else is there to do but wander aimlessly, picking up trash that litters the sidewalks and scanning patches of clovers for something four-pronged and supposedly lucky? I never required an answer. I don't require much, really. Yet there is a way your eyes gaze into me, searing a hole through me, or just staring at the air before me, so distant and almost alien that I have no idea what to think. So I think nothing and love you just the same. Thanks. Yeah, a little too sentimental for me. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for all of you who stuck it out till the end. Thanks, Carly, for blowing my mind, and for coming up here and performing. I mean, it's really such a special moment. And thanks, David, for recording as always. Yeah, our next event, guys, I'm not sticking to the script, all right? We're only doing one in October because no, it's okay, fine. I'll let you have it. You screwed up. Yeah, so but honestly, it's okay. I don't know who's our feature yet. I have an idea, but I'm like tossing and turning it around in my head and waiting until the right moment strikes for me to pounce and latch on and never let go. But yeah, so stay tuned. I think it's like the 29th or something. No, 24th. October 24th. Which is a day of the week, perhaps. But until then, it's wait, what did you say? It's a Friday. Oh my God, thank God it's a Friday. But until then, thank you all for coming. Thanks for performing, listening, cheering, applauding, relishing, eating candy. And with that, White Noise signing off.